Hello, autograph addicts. We're going to talk about a marriage today, but not a good marriage. A marriage is a term I coined decades ago to describe an item that forgers love to get their hands on. It's a multiple signed item, missing some of the crucial autographs, but signed by some authentically. So the forger is then only too happy to provide the missing ones, greatly increasing the item's value. Let me give you a few examples of what I'm talking about. Something that those inexperienced authenticators at JBSB, whatever companies, often miss. Let's look at music, for example. The Rolling Stones, other than the Beatles, likely a top band for collectors. And Charlie Watts and Ron Wood, for example, lived a lot in the U.S. Charlie even signed his mail. Both were very friendly and approachable. Keith to a lesser degree, but through his book signings and all of their constant concert tourings, he still signed plenty of autographs too. But Mick the rascal, being Mick has always been a very tough signer. So the forger gets an LP, for example, signed by Charlie and Ron. That's worth $350 maybe. Even if it was worth $1,500 at the most with Keith on it rather. But then they forge Mick. More scrutiny, in this case, should be paid always in Rolling Stones to Mick. How about TV? Does it work there? It does. Well, look at the Munsters. The Munsters cast members and the Lost in Space cast members spent years on the show circuit. Both casts minus one person can be had for about $100. But the forger throws Fred Gwynne on the Munsters cast or Guy Williams in the Lost in Space cast, and voila, you got closer to $1,000 item to emerge. Now, I see this a lot in Star Trek too, and Star Wars. Those casts you have to look for, George Lucas, very careful because it's such his scrawl is so small, it's just initials. Or Carrie Fisher. Even though she did do shows and Mark Hamill did shows, in those cases, they're forging them because they're more expensive, whereas Jeremy Bulloch and the others were $20 at shows for so long. Or look at Star Trek. The first to pass, DeForest Kelley's often forged, and it's usually not Shatner that's forged. My God, he goes to the opening of a letter and signs. No, we're talking about Leonard Nimoy here, who was harder to get. These are the ones to focus on. And like human marriages, these are tricky, and they are to be avoided whenever possible. As usual, you do that by caring about who is doing your authenticating for you. You can check your brain at the door and use the sticker companies. If you're just reselling on eBay, you can pay them all the money and sit it out there and buy it now for years and hope that you sell it. Play their game by all means if you want to do that. But if authenticity matters to you, buy from someone with experience, especially in those individual fields and in things like this. When authenticity matters, piece of the past has your back. Thank you, autograph addicts. Remember, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. We will answer those. The next video, we're going to have another giveaway. And I'm telling you, some great stuff we're giving away. So stay tuned. Happy collecting.